roughly 15. They go 3. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Butler. Here. Commissioner Clausen.
Here.
Commissioner Cox.
Here.
Commissioner Phipps.
Here.
Mayor Hall.
Here. Consent agenda. Items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will occur unless a council member requests the item to be removed from the consent agenda. If an item is removed from the consent agenda, it will be considered elsewhere on the agenda for this meeting. Prior to asking for a motion to approve the consent agenda, the mayor will ask if anyone desires to remove an item from the consent agenda for public discussion. I move that the minutes of the regular meeting of October the 7th, 2025, the bills and payroll for the first half of October 2025, and I'm adding a third item that was not on the agenda, but it's bills for the mayor's travel, which there were bills in the list, and we did not know that before we didn't catch that before we prepared this, but still, if you want to pull those out, you can certainly do that. So can I get a second to that? Second. Now, anybody have any concerns about both? Okay, so then roll call.
Commissioner Butler. Yes. Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. Presentations, petitions, and communications. This portion of the city council meeting is reserved for persons who desire to address the council. The Illinois Open Meetings Act mandates that the city council may not take action on comments received on matters that have not been identified on this agenda, but the council may direct staff to address the topic or refer the matter for action on the agenda for another meeting. Persons addressing the council are requested to limit their presentation to 3 minutes and to avoid repetitious comments. We would also ask you to state your name and address for the record as well as stand when speaking. Now, based on the audience we have, I suspect we're going to have several comments. We do ask you to come up front to the microphone because we do have people online and they need to be able to hear you when you're making your comments. And we'll also ask for, in fact, why don't we just start with.
You want to do the acknowledgement of retirement first?
We're going to do that first? Okay. All right. Go ahead. So we do have a retirement. Sam, you going to make a comment?
Yeah, Brad Taylor's here with us tonight, Chief Taylor.
Stand up. Come on, we want to see what you look like.
So Brad retired from the City of Mattoon Police Department as a lieutenant after 30 years of service. I was still in high school when he started. Not many people have put in that many years, but Brad here would have kept going had the job opportunity not came up. That he's Windsor's police chief now. So congratulations to Brad. Guy that truly enjoyed being a cop. He came to work every day. He never complained. And anytime he came around, you were almost certain to get a funny story out of him. Just a joy to be around. We're going to miss him. Come on up and meet your plaque, Brad.
You want to do a picture? Do we do a picture? What's that?
Jeff's
Jeff gonna get it? Okay.
Presented to Brad Taylor in appreciation of service to the city of Mattoon for the years of 1995 to 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll go on. I'd like to, anybody that wants to address the council, not related to the solar panels. I'd like to get those up first. Does anybody want to address the council for other items other than the solar issue? Anybody? Yes, come forward right here, if you would.
Good evening, this is Lord Matter Procedure. My name is Daniel Hamilton. I'm attorney Brown H. Stevens in Springfield. I'm here to speak on the zoning petition for the billboard at the Stadium Grill. Will I have an opportunity to speak at that time, or would you like me to speak now?
I think that now, well,
Either one.
why don't we go ahead and do that now?
I'm happy to do it either way.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Again, thank you for your time this evening. The Stadium Grill project is owned by Jerry Myerscough. I sent you all a letter at the end of last week about the proposed zoning petition for the outdoor advertising sign at the Stadium Grill. I'm just here tonight to answer any questions that you may have and provide any additional information that you may need. The sign meets all of the criteria necessary for the issuance of the permit. It was favorably viewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission. I do understand that there may be another sign application coming about this evening that could potentially be a problem, but I would like to bring your attention to the city zoning ordinance regarding the special use permits.
Okay.
It does not say in the ordinance that only one special use permit may be issued per zone. What it says is that all off-premises signs must be at least 5,000 feet from one another. That's signs, that's not permits issued. The council has the ability to issue multiple permits. And then it's up to those that are building the signs to make sure that they comply with those distance regulations at the time of building. So if there's any presumption that only one of the two permits can be issued, I don't think that that's accurate. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention, make you aware of that, and again, answer any questions.
Okay. Any comments that anybody has about that at this time? Stick around. If there could be questions that come up once the motion's made, and you should stay for that.
Very good.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Just wanted to make.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. Thank you. Any other items that people want to talk about? All right. So I had one person request that they go last from the group that wants to talk about solar issues. What I would like to do is, which I've done before, is just start on one side of the room, have people come up in some kind of order so we get everybody covered. But I'd like to start over here. If you want to make a comment, anybody on that side, starting with the front row, anybody on the front row want to make a comment? Okay, how about the second row? Anybody? Okay, step up here, please. You get to go first. That's always the best thing, right?
Well, good evening, and thank you for your time for listening. It's Allison Hurt, and I'm speaking for both my husband, Joshua Hurt, who's not here tonight, and myself. And we live at 2000 Evergreen Court. I'm here to ask you to consider what the community members are saying about this solar project. Several of us have been at the city planning meetings to voice our concerns. The planning committee has listened to its community members and has already not recommended that the solar farm request proceed. Yet once again, here we are to express our concerns in opposition to the solar farm. I would also like to know that we did not receive any notification about this particular meeting tonight from the solar company, which they said that was something that they would do. One concern we do have is our property values. If we want to sell our home, the solar company says our home values won't decrease. But let's be realistic. Who wants to move into a home with a solar farm in their backyard? Ask yourselves, would you want this view? This solar farm would make our homes more difficult to sell. And I've seen several studies showing at least a 3% decrease in home values. There's even a USA Today article about a home that has a $250,000 value would lose approximately $7,500 value, which is not a small amount and can be detrimental to the residents near the solar farm, contrary to what they would have us believe. And what about the city's ability to grow no new homes? We've had the Emerald Green Acres built, which has valuable land being used on our existing city boundaries. How will we continue to grow if our solar panels are built around the city's edge? Basically, you're locking in that city's perimeter within the next 30 years. And this is not our first go around with a solar farm near residential areas. I would recommend that a permanent buffer zone be around our city's edge. Another major concern is that if this parcel of land is rezoned and the solar farm is built, which has about a 30-year lifespan, after that time and the panels are removed, is that ground still going to be usable? When solar panels are decommissioned, I was reading that the EPA has toxicity characteristic leaching procedures that they have to do on these panels after they're decommissioned, where at times these panels can be classified as hazardous waste due to the toxic heavy metals in them. And if that is the case, would it be possible that, that metal is going into our valuable farmland? And are these panels even periodically checked to make sure that no toxic chemicals are leaching out to the soil during that 30 years time? And finally, let's think about what's going to happen to the land after those 30 years. If the land is rezoned to commercial, what's going to be rebuilt thereafter? I had gone online and looked at the city Mattoon's Code ordinance of what's under a C3 district, commercial district.
I'm gonna interrupt this, and I'm gonna do the same thing for everybody. We're allowed 3 minutes. You're right at that number right now, so you should wrap up as soon as you can.
So on that code of ordinance, what's going to be on that land afterwards? And some of the things I've seen, you have anywhere from like a gas station, department store, mental hospital, video gambling, or even like prison, jail, reform. So that is not astounding feeling to us. What could be on that land afterwards? These are just a few of the concerns that we have, and we ask you to please vote no on this proposal. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, as we continue to move down the third row, anybody on the third row? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Leslie Myers, 1112 North 32nd Street. I have been in my home for 49 years, and I am not about to let something destroy the value of our property. And we have been to meeting after meeting after meeting, and when is this ever going to end? Let them go farther out north. If they want something in solar, that's fine. But don't put it close to the residential area. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Let's see, fourth row. Anybody back on the fourth row want to come up? And last row against the wall. Anybody like to speak? Yeah, go ahead.
Colton Anderson from 1912 Evergreen Court on behalf of Rainey, Asher, and Addie. We were here a few months ago to discuss this proposal to put in a solar farm near Evergreen Ford. Over that time frame, I've continued to see that neighborhood grow with small families. We just the other night, my 4-year-old son Asher and 2-year-old daughter Addie go up and down that street, play with neighborhood kids that all are under 7. We've got 8 or 9 of them that are in that neighborhood. There are no sidewalks in Evergreen, which is totally fine. We love the quiet Evergreen Court, to be able to go up and down the street, to know our neighbors, and to feel safe and to feel like there's not a lot of traffic, because we know every car that comes down that way. I think the proposal of solar is most concerning to me in terms of the increased construction traffic that would be rolling through there, as well as just the idea of solar panels going in and not knowing the long-term cause and effects that it has on young children. We're 7 years in that house and intend to be there for the rest of our lives until we retire. So as long as our kids are alive, we plan to be there. We just want to see that community at Evergreen Court continue to grow, to be a place for young families to come and be a part of, and to be an attractive place. And it's a struggle to see solar being pushed so close to residential in a community that I came back to because I love the support from the council and the people and to the place to raise a family. And so my concerns among solar are traffic, long-term health concerns, and just giving my kids an opportunity to grow up
feeling like we're in the city, but being in the cornfield, like that's what makes Matt Street so special. So this idea of solar being there is disconcerting and a little upsetting, to say the least. So thank you.
Thank you. Got one more back. Go ahead. Come on up.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Hey, I'm Ken Lowry. I live at 1112 North 31st Street. And on November 5th, Kevin Hamilton and Nora, his wife, Ray and Nancy Hamilton, my neighbors, started the petitions against the solar farm. And I have copies of 168 signatures. You'd
Okay.
like to see
Yeah,
them.
the city clerk would like to have those. Deliver that.
So, there's email addresses and stuff there.
Thank you.
So, this was brought to our attention by this staff, or notice that was in the Sterling Gazette. And it said the Land of Lincoln Solar LLC formally requested public hearing for November 12, 2024. So here we are tonight.
Right.
I admire them and all my neighbors wanting, to not wanting this solar farm. And I would like to point out that the first special use permit that was proposed by another solar company expired due to the fact they went bankrupt. And Greenwood Sustainable Infrastructures route and this through picked up on the misfortune of the original company. And after many canceled meetings by GSI, we are here tonight. As citizens, we're deeply concerned with the location of the solar farm proposal and what it will do to our property values, which was previously stated. Going from R1 residential to C3 commercial is quite a jump. Will hog farms, chicken farms, or turkey farms be next? I don't know. I keep hearing about the 1.5 mile boundary around the city limits to keep this from happening. And I understand the special use request, but a similar request was denied last year, I believe, by the council due to the objections of the residents off of Western Avenue. And not to mention the Coles County Advisory Board voting to reject GSI solar farm proposal on July 8th of this year. We don't have any problem with individual owners installing solar panels on their own homes, but 7,000 plus panels on a 20-acre parcel of farm ground for 30 years is an entirely different story. According to GSI, bonds are purchased to ensure 30 years from now the cost of decommissioning a solar farm will be paid for, and the ground will be put back to as good as new, if not better. Have you guys decommissioned any sites? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I take that as a no. I retired from JM Test Systems the end of February this year. Our company has been in the recalibration business for 43 years and as salesman for JM, numerous electrical contractors.
I'm going to interrupt you just a minute also. You're close to 3 minutes, so if you would wrap up.
Okay, so in order to decommission a solar farm, it costs $9,000 a panel. They're proposing 7,000 panels times $9,000 is 63 million bucks that you buy bonds for, I understand. But that's today's money, not 30 years from now's money. Also, I would like for Kyle to show, this is the first, that would have been on July 31st, the property sign that the landowner put up off of North 33rd Street, facing west. The traffic runs north-south. You can't see that sign. There is September 12th, and the next one was October 17th. There's the sign. So finally, I would like to show a video of solar farm just east of Mattoon, 10 miles away on the northwest side of Charleston. If you could pull that up, please. Yeah, here we are. 3 minutes. And this is the
How long is this?
28 seconds.
28, okay. This will be it.
Okay.
I can get to play.
We won't blame this on you. It's Kyle's fault.
Can I get last?
Go ahead.
Keep.
Yeah, he's got to grab his iPad real quick and show you guys. I don't know why it's not.
This is the farm that's 10 miles away.
Okay.
And it's been this way for a year.
All right.
And the vegetation they planted around this, as you can see, it's completely dead. And over here to the very south are residential homes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I would just like to encourage you to vote no on this. Once again, for our property values, thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you. Okay, let's move over to this side. Nobody else on that side? No. Go ahead. Oh, you want to come up? Okay.
My name's Kurt. I've already 2016 on Caslorn. I'm Mr. Grass. I had first again. And you guys.
Okay.
Will this be annexing to the city if there is a fire location or it's to local census outside of city limits?
So their solar farm that's within a mile and a half pays us to be their fire protection. We did not annex it in, but they do pay us to provide that.
I remember that grass jet on the flow on our streets west of 500. Yeah, for minutes. Pretty bad water flow. And then is there, I got a question for Ralph. Let's see, decommissioning that's set up for inflation.
You like to wait?
We can respond to these things. We didn't anticipate there's going to be question and answer at this public comment.
Okay.
I mean, I can answer it quickly if you'd like me to, but
That's entirely up to you. You can cover it when you make a statement after.
decommissioning is covered by the agricultural impact mitigation agreement, which has to be signed with the Illinois Department of Agriculture. Also, whichever authority, so whether it's a county or whether it's a municipality that is setting in place the terms and conditions of a special use permit, can also add to the decommissioning requirements. Under the decommissioning requirements, when they came up, there's certain benchmarks. One is at 1 year, or 6 years, 11 years, where the bond is increased. Additionally, it provides for the decommissioning estimate and plan to be reevaluated. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head because I don't have it here. I believe it's every 10 years. Oftentimes, counties and municipalities will sometimes ask that it be done more frequently than that. I've seen 5 years, I've seen 3 years. They do account for inflation in their estimates, but also when they reevaluate repeatedly and frequently, they're able to reset that bond at an appropriate amount every time.
Appreciate you studying on that.
Great. All right. That's it. All right. Thank you. Okay, now we're ready to go on this side over here. Anybody like first row, second row? No, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. Brady Briscoe, Renewables Program Coordinator, Policy Analyst with Livewire.
Can you speak into your microphone?
Sorry.
Yeah, first, okay, the way these mics are set up, so we don't have speakers here. Those are set up so that the people not in attendance here can hear them. So we're just going to have you speak up as best you can.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, that mic doesn't, well, only the external people is going to help to talk to that.
Yeah, nice to meet you all. Brady with Livewire Construction. We are a union MBE contractor. Been in business for about 19 years. Historically completed projects that are a bit more complex than solar farms, like healthcare facilities, data centers, casinos, schools. But in 2021, when the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act was passed in Illinois, Livewire experienced lots of activity in the community solar space as an equity eligible contractor with over 30 megawatts of installed projects. We also have a sister company that's signatory to the Operators Carpenters Laborers Union. So Livewire is the full electrical scope of the installation. BlackRock Construction is the full civil mechanical scope of the installation. And saying GSI for bringing us to the table and, giving us an opportunity to speak here and potentially build this project. With the support of practicing developers like GSI, and the Illinois Shine State Incentive Program for solar, Livewire has been able to build up our business and become a full turnkey scope engineering, procurement, construction contractor. Take on, the full activity of the solar farm. I think our partnership with GSI is in complete alignment with the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. You have a practicing developer in GSI doing the upfront origination work, Livewire Construction building the projects, employing residents from the surrounding neighborhoods in Pierce County, and successfully getting the project energized and providing renewable energy credits, clean energy to Illinois to help meet its renewable portfolio standard by 2050.
Okay.
So not only will this Hayes community solar projects provide clean, affordable energy to residents in need, these residents are also located in an equity investment eligible community, but it will also create 20 new jobs for community members.
Okay, you're gonna have to start to get close to your end if you're wrapping up.
Thank you. So as a union shop, Livewire will bring down 4 in-house employees to oversee the construction of this Hayes solar project. Bring down our superintendent, general foreman, a foreman, and 1 journeyman. Livewire will then be hiring 20 new journeymen and apprentice workers from local union, all Dulles County IBW Local 146. These 20 new hires from IBW Local 146 will be paid prevailing wage, fringe benefits, and additional benefits that equal $67.12 an hour.
Okay, you're gonna have to wrap it up here.
Gotcha. So I think, in addition to providing union members jobs in the surrounding community area, a lot of these members would be equity eligible persons. So we have a minimum equity standards requirement on this project. Equity eligible persons are those who are formerly incarcerated, those who are members of the foster care system, those who live in an environmental justice community, and those who are graduates of the CEDA Child Training Program. So I think, Livewire, GSI, we're passionate about providing opportunity to, those who've historically been left out of not only the clean energy sector, but the job sector in general.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mike Russo. I'm with Global Renewables, and we are a consultant and developer here in Illinois. We've been working with GSI on this project, primarily in the development phases of it. We help with almost a pre-study of the project to make sure that it's all right by standards in the state, overall, and get all of our experiences from all the state programs. These projects, we work.
Can you hear back there?
No.
We worked on about 30 or 40 of these projects as consultants here in Illinois. We've also developed about 10 different projects of this size here in the state, working with multiple municipalities. Some of them are on municipal grounds. The benefits for them through the Illinois Shine program always great for the community members, whether it's through donations or scholarships that are provided, or through the reduction in the cost of the energy. These are great projects for the communities, what we've seen and what our experiences in the state. For this particular project, as you'll see a presentation, we redesigned the project. We've taken into account the concerns of the community, put screening around the entire project so that they have to look at it if they don't want to see it. Hearing some of the concerns of the community that they don't want to have that in their backyard. It's a good way to block that. If there's any concerns about noise or light or dust, There is none, once that project is turned on, that is not a concern for these projects. They are quiet. The most you'll get from one of these projects is that whisper of sound within 100 feet of the site. So they're quiet projects. And then I know somebody had brought up the soils. In conjunction with the idea, they recommended that we do pollinator friendly and native plants underneath the panels. It's been shown that when you use those types of plants, it's better for the soils because of the varying levels of depths of their roots. It helps to aerate the soil better. So by the time the project ends its life cycle, the soils are actually better off than when those other projects that they disinfect the soil back.
Okay.
So I would just like to reiterate, I think these projects are great for the community. I think it should be.
Thank you. All right. Keep going back. Second row. Okay, third. Anybody in the third row? Fourth row back there. I saw your hand go up.
My name is Paul Welton. I live at 1020 North 33rd Street. And this paved project does not affect me personally at the moment, other than just a view of it. But there is already one going to be on the other side of 33rd Street for me that will totally block any western view. And I believe that Mr. Schaefer, who has been a friend of mine, would like to have everything from 19th Street to 33rd Street, which would give me about a 220-degree view of a solar farm. And at 10 foot tall, I believe that's what it's going to be. Or a little taller.
Yeah.
I'm standing on my property, I will not be able to see the horizon in any direction to the north and west. And it butts right up, if that goes on in that way. Now, what you said about all the benefits, would we reap the same benefits if it was 1,000 feet further out or a mile further out? No comment?
No, the answer is no.
Okay. Well, I do not believe that anybody wants the solar farm up this close. And you do have the ability to alter that. And I wish that you would. I had planned on giving that part of my property to my daughter to build a house on, and one day she told me, well, I wouldn't want it if it's going to be a solar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheryl Weber Gamble, 909 North 31st Street, Mattoon. We do not want this. We've heard many reasons why. I'm a union member. I love union jobs. But you are going to totally destroy people's homes and lives around when this is being built, and you don't know if this is safe for their families. We said no. Please listen. We're not kidding. We don't want this. Please don't do it.
Next row back, anybody? Against the wall back there, anybody else? Comments? Okay, yeah, I'll go. Somebody, there we go.
I don't have anything prepared.
and I'm really uncomfortable speaking in public, but I thought I should introduce myself. I'm Greg Schaefer. I'm the Great Saving. I'm a family farmer. I was born here. I've been here my whole life. And the only reason I signed up this piece of ground is because it's a poor piece of ground. It gets all the water off the cemetery, and it's not worth hardly farming. But, you know, I do it. I wanted to tear that fence row down behind Evergreen Court, and the solar company said, don't do that. That it's a good protection. It's a good blind for this solar project. But, you know, like I said, I'm a family farmer. I drive the combine, my wife drives the auger wagons, my son drives the trucks and dumps at the bids. And you're not taking property rights away from a faceless corporation or a giant mega farm. You're taking property rights away from me. And I think this project has benefits and really has no neighbors. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Andrea Hamilton. I wasn't actually going to speak tonight, but on behalf of my husband, he's unable to be here. I'll try to remember his feel too, that, you know, we've been here for many times as Tim was saying, we've been here for over a year trying to defend our community over there in our neighborhood with not having solar panels built on it. I understand Mr. Schaefer's plea. There's other things he could put if he wanted to. Sorry. I grew up on a farm as well, but I just feel like, you know what, my in-laws have lived with the house since my kids were babies. And the view back there is amazing. That's why they moved there. They wouldn't, nobody likes to move in a neighborhood with solar panels. I'm sorry, I can guys. The house values will go down. We do live on 31st Street too. I owned on 31st Street, 813, so I didn't say that. But definitely here and no. I'm no, my husband's no. I have my kids here, two of my kids. My other one was gonna be here tonight too. She's been at one too. She got two little kids. We go down to their house all the time. Play in the yard, and you know what? The view is amazing, and I understand it's not our ground to do anything with. I get that. And like I said, my dad was a farmer. I get your pride. Family, you know, but you know, within the boundaries, push it out a little bit. I know it's kind of making something out there with farm ground on it. And there's not a ton of farm ground. I mean, if we do it all in solar panels, what's left with their farm ground, you know? But anyway, I'm now most of the strength that I mean, the majority of us are and we've been here every time you've asked to come up here. We've been here. We try to come up every time that we're not supposed to be here. To the planning meetings, to the council. We all just, I mean, raise your hands if you're here, no. No, that's most of us, right? Oh, here we have a few that know, but we're all much different. We don't want this to work well. So thank you for listening to us and for getting our petitions. And I think Ken said 168. We put out a new one. We got more signatures on Facebook that said, please don't do this because Western, they tried to do it out there on Western and nobody wanted to go out there either next to the school, next to their home. So we are just like them, but on the other side of the city. And I think you had somebody else say that Emerald Acres wouldn't be there if we had solar panels up over there, right? That's Emerald Acres. So, but we'd like to keep this side, you know, so we can see the view out back, but we just want to let them know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Blair Dodge. I live at 3512 East County Road 900 North in Mattoon. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight, but I have a little bit of a different background in what's going on. So our house is to the south of a huge solar farm that just went in. So I already have solar panel views to my north, and now I'm going to have them to my south. So our property value is going to go down. We moved there so our children could see the sunsets, so they could play outside. They ride four-wheelers. We play as a family out there. We go on walks, and we don't want to see it. I don't want them around it. I don't believe that it's healthy. I don't believe that it's been around long enough for us to know the long-term impacts that it has on families and children. So I'm going to be sandwiched in between it. And who's going to want to buy my home when I don't want to live there because I don't want to look at it? Please vote no.
Anybody else? Last call. We are, okay, so we're going to go into actually, huh? Yeah, they're going to do it right before the motion. Okay. Right. So we're going to go into new business. Stick around because we'll, of course, get to the motion eventually. It's number 10. Okay. So let's go ahead and start the first new business item.
Just a minute, Mayor. I'll be with you here in a minute.
You're all right.
All right. I'd make a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-3323, authorizing a $10,000 maximum agreement with the Coles County Regional Planning and Development Commission for technical assistance for services to be rendered from December 1st, 2025 to November 30th, 2026 on a time and expense basis, and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents.
And can I have a second to that motion?
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps, and any I know this is a recurring thing that we do every year.
Every year, we can use up to $10,000 for their technical assistance on grants, GIS, just different technical services.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
A motion to adopt resolution 2025-3324, authorizing an agreement with the Coles County Regional Planning and Development Commission with a maximum amount of $3,000 for administration of the Mattoon Revolving Loan Fund for services to be rendered from December 1st of 2025 to November 30th of 2026 on a time and expense basis, and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents.
Can I have a second to that motion?
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Clausen, and comments on this?
Same thing, and it's up to $3,000, just depending on how many people apply for the loans.
Okay. All right. Roll call.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2643, approving the successor insurance services agreement in the amount of $75,000 each year with First Mid Insurance as a broker of record for the city's health, dental, and life insurance through November 1, 2028.
And a second to that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Cox.
This is the same fees that they charged us last at the contract. So they haven't raised their price any. And we pay quarterly to them, so.
Good. All right. Any other comments, questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to approve council decision request 2025-2644, approving the purchase of a new 2024 4x4 Ram 2500 Tradesman in the amount of $47,799.70 from Pilsen Auto Center for the Parks Department.
And a second to that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Butler, and
I can't tell you the last time we bought a new vehicle for the park department. We usually get hand-me-downs from other departments.
and you've been here 30 years,
I've
right?
been here 30 years. So yeah, they definitely need some new vehicles replaced.
Okay. Any other questions people have about that? Roll call.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Abstain.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2025-3325, authorizing the submission of a grant application to Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation, IDF-PR, to assist funding of roof repairs to the mausoleum, and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents for this grant.
Second to that motion?
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Phipps, what are we doing at the moment?
We've got different prices on different roof repairs from 60,000 to 100 some thousand. This grant's up to 20,000. And so.
This is at the cemetery.
Yeah, at the cemetery. If we get awarded that grant, we would have to come up with $40,000 out of the general fund and care fund out there at the cemetery to help pay for that.
And it is leaking, correct?
And it is leaking. We've been putting a little bit of money away for it every year, trying to get those repairs done and some ventilation out there as well.
Okay. Do you know the time frame on the grant award?
We will submit, again, I'm not sure, we'd be on the third tier down. The first tier is for more like cemeteries that haven't been taken care of, tombsteads that are down and haven't been mowed and stuff like that. So this is just other variations of maintenance needed. So we won't rank real high, but we are going to try to see what we can get.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call?
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1980, granting a setback variance for expansion purposes located at 1416 Moultrie. Petitioners are Steve and Irene Lawhorn of Auto Truck and Farm Repair. Property 071-02-702-001.
And a second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Butler, and who wants to talk about this one?
I could make a comment briefly. So there were no objectors at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. It unanimously passed, and staff has a neutral opinion on it. Basically, they're making a 24-foot addition to the building, and the existing front yard setbacks created a hardship for the owner of the property to do that. And again, there were no objectors present at the meeting, so we're pretty neutral on it.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1981, substitute granting a rezoning from R3 Residential 3 to PUD Planned Unit Development to property located at 804, 808, 812, 816, and 820 Golden Oak Avenue, and 1905, 1909, 1913, 1917, and 1921 Brookstone Lane to assist with the development of housing. Petitioner Mattoon Compact Homes, LLC R. Bart Owen.
You don't have to read the rest.
You have the rest of it.
No, you don't have to read the rest of those.
Excuse me?
You don't have to read the 10 numbers.
She didn't need to read the number.
Nothing else?
Well, there's 8.
Okay,
Read those.
what about the substitute?
She said substitute.
Okay, all right. All right, second to that motion?
Second, Mayor.
Commissioner Cox, and roll call then.
Commissioner Phipps.
Abstain?
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1982, granting a special use variance for a digital display sign located on a portion of 06-0-05116-000. Petitioner Richard Rhodes of Dusty's Outdoor Media.
And the second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Butler, and comments on this, anybody?
Hence the Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously, staff is neutral, but acknowledges that it's a current ordinance.
Okay.
I would say there's like essentially a blighted property is being taken by the commission. This is a property that needs to be mowed and issue nuisance orders on that actually. And so, from there, by this being transferred over to the city, we have a little more site control. The petitioner is offered to mow that property as part of that agreement.
Okay. All right. Any other questions people have?
This is didn't we already approve this a few times back? At least the permitting of this?
No, this is a separate sign. The former sign was one that was approved for US 45, and then there was one to the north.
To the north. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1983, granting a special use variance for a digital display sign at 102 Detro Drive, 06-0-00577-000. Petitioner, the Lamar Company's Stadium Grill.
And a second to this motion. Anybody want to make a second? Hearing none. It fails. Correct?
Yes.
All right. That's fine. So we just keep going then.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Number 10.
Do you want to do the presentation on number 10 first?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do. I'm glad you said. We do have some time here that we wanted to provide some information.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you tonight about our application. Before I go into any details, I'd like to invite my colleague, Drew Rogerson, to just give you a very quick introduction to the company. Greenwood.
Okay.
Evening, everyone. With Drew Rogerson. Just to be quick, I just want to give you all a quick introduction on our company. So I'm here on behalf of Ross Colleague here with Greenwood Sustainable Infrastructure. Who's a just one, quick info. So we are a experienced renewable energy developer. We mostly focus on community solar and commercial scale. So what people would mostly call, smaller scale projects. We don't really scale. We across the U.S. mostly in the Northeast and Midwest. And we have a proven track record of developing projects, and we try to focus on projects that are responsibly developed, well managed, thoughtfully designed. So our approach is pretty simple. We try to mix into partnerships with towns like yourself and try to align with local goals within these communities. We've got to be transparent throughout the process as much as we can, and I've hosted open houses and that sort of thing, and that's something that we like to do. And we try to commit to responsible development and land use. So we've successfully developed dozens of projects. We've brought in local jobs, provided tax revenues, that sort of thing, clean and mild energy for these regions. Just want to say appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight, and thank you for all that background.
Okay.
Thanks. So I want to make sure I go through the presentation quickly and touch on the important points. But what I wanted to start out by saying is that what we understand completely is that the city council has a challenge of weighing the good of the whole with local concerns. And there are a lot of good reasons for the town, for the community as a whole, to have a project like this. And I'll go through some of those specifics. But we understand the difficulty of trying to work out that balance. The kinds of things that I'll be speaking to in the presentation are the savings for ratepayers. Savings on local utility bills are very meaningful. The general benefit for economic development, the spirit of community solar, which provides other benefits to the community outside of this strictly financial. Also, the advantages sometimes of having land kept idle for a period of time. There's very future options. And the fact that, and I'll come back to this, that despite some of the concerns that have been raised by folks in the community, solar arrays of this type are harmless, invisible, and safe. and they provide a lot of benefits as well. So I want to make sure we touch on that. And then a number of different perspectives have been shared. I have the perspective of a developer, but we've already heard from the landowner, Mr. Schaefer. We've heard from our engineering contractor that can attest to the safety of the way in which solar projects like this are built and designed. We've heard from the construction standpoint, and we will be hearing a little bit from more of a legal and a regulatory perspective by Mr. Seth Upall. So if we could move forward in the presentation here, let's see. So the project overview, most of that we can just skip over fairly quickly. The most important thing to note there, I think it's back at one. Thank you. This is the first time we've come before the city council, but we have been before the planning commission twice. And one of the reasons why we had to go past the planning commission twice was to demonstrate the improvements to the design we had made based on our attentiveness to community concerns. And we'll look at some of the specifics in a second. If we could go forward one slide. Yes, thank you. So basically what this amounts to is that we very mistakenly, and you know, I don't know what we were thinking, but we originally designed the access road to go right down Evergreen Court and through the screen of trees at the end of the court and then onto Mr. Schaefer's fields. That was clearly the wrong thing to propose, and we understood that based on a meeting about a year ago when a lot of concerns were raised by many people who were in this room. So we completely changed the design of the access road. And you can see there on the right, the access road now comes from 3rd Street by the electric substation, goes along the edge of the parcel to the west of us, and then drops down into the array. And it's a very simple thing, but I just want to really emphasize this. We listened to the community and we completely changed the design based on their concerns. We could go to the next, yeah, next. So another thing is this is a very flat landscape. So you know, things can be hidden fairly effectively by trees and bushes. And you know, a lot of the concerns that we've heard about the array have to do with its visual impact on what people see when they look out their back window or from their back porch. And so we added and you know maintain now as part of the design vegetative screening, or in other words, a screen of trees and bushes around the array to hide it completely from view, which will grow and become denser and fill out during the lifetime of the project and make it even less visible, especially including during the winter time. And we have a few visual renderings that will illustrate that in a moment. Next slide. Yes, okay. So this is taken from above, and it shows you the relationship of the array and the screening around it to local neighborhoods. Key, of course, is Evergreen Court immediately to the east. And Evergreen Court is now separated by trees, open distance, and a vegetative screen. And the closest distance between the edge of the array and the first house on Evergreen Court is at least 700 feet, which is more than any kind of setback ordinance is typically required. Down in the southwestern corner, the distance between the closest house and the southwestern corner of the array is about 550 feet. So again, it's very, very large. But in between is the vegetative screen. So if you could just go forward one more. Let's skip this one. And that just gives you another sort of angle on what the vegetative screening will look like as it completely wraps around the array. Next, okay, so this is what it would look like actually in, I think it's year 5, looking at it from 28th Street. So I guess you're looking toward the northeast. And that's all you would see in the distance. Obviously, you wouldn't see anything like that if it was the corner side. But with the corner off the field, this is literally what you would see in the distance. And it would be maintained and never go away. Next. That's another one that's in year, I guess the first one was year 0, was it? And this is year 5.
Year 5.
Both are flat? Okay, so this is seen from, close. Yeah, it's closer up and north is that way. So it's looking west.
Quick question while you're going through this is, does that to represent 500 feet or 700 feet, that distance from where you're taking that shot?
No, this would be less in this picture. And what you see is a mixture of red cedars, white pine, arborvitae, and some lower bushes.
And Kyle, am I going back a couple for the aerial shot right there? So number 4 is where we were just looking. And then the one before is the top of 28th Street. You can't really see the number 2 up there, but it's just right at the top of I think it's right between 28th and 29th Street, right? So that's where the other view is from.
Yeah. The key thing is that the landscape is flat all over. So no matter which angle you look at it from, you'll just see abandoned tree. You know, either covering more or less of the horizon. Next, please. Okay, so this changes the subject a little bit. You know, what is very common nowadays in solar arrays is that inside the enclosure, a seed mix of pollinator-friendly grasses and flowers, wildflowers, native wildflowers, is planted to encourage the population of pollinators, birds, insects, butterflies, bees, and so on. And that's also maintained. It's not just sort of like a one-time seeding, but it's an ongoing maintenance of a pollinator-friendly habitat within the array. And so what this will do is in the neighborhood where you have backyards and you have either corn or bean agriculture, you'll have this like densely packed area of biodiversity that will basically positively affect most of the other crop and yard plant growth in the area. So this is another adjustment we made. You began to realize that folks were very concerned that in addition to what we're proposing, that another array might be built on Mr. Schaefer's land in the parcel to the immediate west of us, basically between our array and 33rd Street. And so we moved the parcel boundary of the parcel we're proposing to use. As you can see, there's like a little notch filled out of it for an oil well. And so we basically adjusted the parcel boundaries in order to make sure that the western field would not get rezoned, would not necessarily be part of an annexation, and it would not be rezoned, and therefore it would continue to be an agricultural zoning classification. We did that because we wanted to take away the concern that folks have, that there might be more solar development to the north of them. So I mean, that will remain as it is now, as far as we're concerned, as far as we know.
Now, whose property is that?
That's Mr. Schaefer's.
Also. Okay.
This is just to show you.
Can I ask a question then to that point?
Yes.
So if he owns the property, if Mr. Schaefer owns the property to the north, and the one of the big concerns for me and for people in the audience here is why are we encroaching on that 1.5 mile limitation that we have control over as a municipality? And you just said that you have no plans to go north, but why not go north? Why not move it further out to the north and maintain that 1.5 mile boundary?
Yeah, and other people can answer that question. I really can't, because, you know, this project focuses south of that boundary. And
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll ask the proper person, I guess.
Yeah.
Here, but that's fair. Thank you.
This is just an illustration of what we're proposing, which is the small array up there in the left-hand corner, compared to the entire colored area, which would be, it represents a 100 megawatt utility scale project. So again, what we're proposing is a very, very small solar array. It packs quite a punch economically in terms of power production, but it's really tiny compared to a lot of the other projects that have been considered around here. So that's just an interesting fact. We could continue. I'm not going to dwell on this. Like it's a very, very quiet installation. We could just go one more stuff. So this is an important aspect of the project, and it's become more important to various people got their electric bills in July or August. This is community solar, and I can't emphasize that enough. Community solar is not utility scale solar. And community solar, among other things, is geared to putting money back in the pockets of electric ratepayers if they subscribe for free, with no fee, to becoming a member of a particular community solar array. They would do this through the utility. They would do this through Ameren. And, we're not at that point yet in the development to be able to give you a lot of specifics. But one thing that is sure, in terms of the way the Illinois Shines Community Solar Program is organized, is that ratepayers are expected to typically save between 10 and 15, in some cases even 20% of their electric bill. And so using average electric bills in that tune, we estimate that, the average household could save $342 a year, which is not a gigantic bonanza, but it's real money for something. The important thing, though, is when you start to get to scale, because a 4 megawatt solar array, which is what this is, produces about the same amount of energy, or electricity rather, as the electricity consumed by about 1,000 households a year. And if 1,000 households were each saving $342, that's a lot of money that suddenly isn't being sent to the electric company anymore. It's going back into the local community. And if you stretch that out over the 25 years at least of the lifetime of the array, you're starting to get into very large numbers. And so, just in this sort of what if calculation, nearly $12 million are not spent on electricity over a 25-year period. They circulate in the local economy.
How are these customers who decides who saves the money? I mean, who, is it the people right around, or is it anybody? Well, we have 8,000 households in the city of Mattoon.
I think, to take it to its extreme, it's anybody in Ameren utility territory who pays a utility bill to Ameren.
Anybody.
But the market.
But I think it's only up to 1,000 homes.
What's that now?
I think it's only up to 1,000 homes, correct?
Well, in this particular case, you would run out of available.
Sure, right.
Yeah, if I may add too, we would certainly love to market the local residents first and foremost, because the product will need subscribers. And once the subscribers fill up, that's out of slots, but we would obviously, advertise that to Mattoon residents, of course, kind of, first we would local if possible.
But Ameren would start out by doing that, and they would start out focusing locally too. There's typically like a flyer that's in certain stuff. So, I mean.
Find the subscription situation, please.
Yeah.
Let's wait, if you would, until they're done with their presentation. We may have an opportunity to have other questions, but.
Sure, I'll answer it as if she didn't ask a question, but I was trying to help them out. So when it comes to the subscription service, typically there's a third party that's utilized, but the way these get structured is that there's no fee to sign up. You then have the opportunity for the savings. If you are a subscriber and you're going to move residences and you're going to stay within Ameren territory, you can take your subscription with you to your new residence. It's transferable. And then if you want to withdraw from the program at any point in time, there's no penalty to withdraw. So really, and I understand that people say, well, that doesn't sound, it sounds too good to be true. I don't have to pay to sign up. I get savings and I don't have to pay to withdraw. But that's the way the state of Illinois is structuring these programs to try to encourage people to utilize these types of services. So that's how the subscription service works, is that you have an opportunity to subscribe, you get the savings on your bill. The way they figure out the subscription is they'll look at your usage and they'll try to right size your subscription based on your usage. So commercial, operations, not-for-profits, anybody can sign up. In fact, up in Northern Illinois, Central Illinois, the OSF Hospital Group is a huge community solar subscriber. They have whole community solar arrays that are dedicated just to OSF because they realized there was an opportunity for savings. So churches and businesses, they can all sign up and get subscriptions. The size of their subscription will be different based on their usage. So, this has, 1,000 typical households. Well, if you get somebody who's a bigger user, they've got a business that's going to eat up a little bit more, it's going to shrink that total number down because they're taking a larger bite of the pie. But that's the way the subscriptions work on at least the other stuff.
All right, thank you.
With that, I'll
keep going.
turn it back over to Ralph to keep going through the slide.
I'm very close to finished too. Yeah. So I will say that taking a step back, the whole purpose of the Illinois Shine program is to stimulate investment in solar around the state. And the way that the legislature has done that is by creating these incentives to attract developers, to attract subscribers, to attract other people to become part of the community of stakeholders that make one of these arrays happen. So, there's no mystery. A lot of, I've been doing this stuff for about 12 years, and many people say to me, it sounds too good to be true. Money out of the thin air. It's not that. It's that the legislators created incentives, and these incentives go straight into people's pockets. And utility scale solar does not provide an incentive that goes straight into the individual's pockets. So I've made that point. Thank you very much, Seth. If we could just go forward, let's see, I think we're just about done. I'm going to stop here and just say a few general things without, I don't want to get down too deep into the weeds here. But my point is that this project will have a whole variety of different community benefits. And that's what it's designed to do. And the community benefits include helping people save money on their electric bills, increase tax revenues for the local community, increase tax revenues for the school district. In the spirit of community solar, which goes above and beyond what we're required to do, we also try to basically create partnerships with local organizations that can also benefit from some of the economic lift that a project like this generates. And so we are in negotiations and we're in back and forth working out the actual details of partnerships with Eastern Illinois University, with Lakeland College, with LIV here in town, and also with a Charleston-based organization called the Urban Butterfly Initiative. And we hope, if this project goes ahead as planned, we hope to finish the arrangements with each one of those partners so that once the project begins to generate income, they'll also benefit. And the final thing I just wanted to really emphasize is that there have been many concerns raised about the safety, about toxicity, about the noise, about other aspects of solar arrays. The thing is, it's not an experiment. Solar arrays are very safe, and they've been safe, and they've been understood, very well understood. They've been tested and tested and tested for decades. I remember Jimmy Carter put solar panels on the roof of the White House, and then they were taken down in the subsequent administration. But I mean, this is an old story, and we know the solar panels do not leach toxics into the soil. They are not. They do not generate noise. There's only a little bit of noise that you would hear from the inverters and from the transformer. So I'll finish simply by saying that the solar on this type of scale is safe. It's a generator of economic benefits. It's quiet, and once built and commissioned, you can just forget about it because it's not going to be the irritant of the community as some people fear. So I'm going to turn the podium over to Seth for the finals.
Can I ask one question right quick? You had mentioned the vegetative fence and the vegetative plants that you would put underneath the solar panels. Who would maintain those?
We actually work with a company, a contractor called Natural Resource Services. They would come in and maintain the community as needed.
I have a couple of questions real quick. How many current projects do you have with Hayes Solar? And if you covered it, I missed it.
Hayes Solar is just one specific project. That's the LLC that's been created for this one project. But in the state of Illinois, we have 7 projects.
Speak to that, yeah, we're developing five projects currently in the state of Illinois. We've developed over 390 megawatts of community solar projects in the US. And yeah, we have 4 other projects just like this one in the state of Illinois. And we've worked with all of those communities, and we could certainly provide letters of recommendation as well.
So these projects are developing or they're basically operating?
We have operating assets. We have some that are still in the development cycle that have received their permits, that are starting construction, including 2 in Illinois that have received their permits earlier this year. So various things.
And with the savings that you're projecting, can you tell me what the kilowatt hour price is on average? right now?
Our price of the energy that we're.
That you're currently producing, kilowatt price?
That's a great question. I don't have the kilowatt hour price off the top of my head, but I can certainly get that.
Very important. Okay. Thank you.
Do any of those 5 that are in process next to neighborhoods?
Oh, yeah. Yes, certainly. Yeah, yep. And, you know, we have, been working with those communities and sort of, prepare them for what it's like to be, you know, call it, for a good neighbor, I think, to communities, and it's been well received. Thank you.
I'll wrap up. Mr. Mayor, if you show me the grace of a few more minutes just to cover a couple things. Mr. Gill, could we go to slide 14, please? And I'll do a quick introduction. My name is Seth Uploff. I'm an attorney. I live in Peoria. I grew up in central Illinois, Livingston County is where I grew up. Grew up on a family farm, family still farms to this date. And I've been practicing as an attorney now for coming up on 20 years. And as of late, I've been doing some of this specialty zoning work and I've become familiar with a lot of this stuff, so I can hopefully answer some of these questions for you. One of the things or a couple of things that I want to recap is, and to the community, I don't begrudge anybody their opinion about their view shed. Everybody has opinions on what they want to look at, and everybody's opinion is their opinion, right? But we also, you as a council and people that are in planning and zoning, you've got a lot of things that you have to balance. And that's one of the considerations, view shed, but there's a lot of other considerations you have to take into account as you go along. We've heard from some of those considerations tonight and things to consider. One of the things that didn't get touched on, and I was wrong on the number here, maybe, Kyle, I was looking at the page numbers, not the slide numbers. So can you go to the community benefits slide, please? There's a significant amount of community benefits that are going to come along with this project. Okay. Some of the numbers are up there, and you can look at them. We've handed out those, and you can take a look through those numbers. But if you go to the next slide, then you'll also see the breakdown that the lion's share of those tax dollars often go to the school districts, right? And so there's benefits that are going to come into your community directly. There's potential direct economic benefits to the city. There's the real estate benefits that are protected in the city. There's the partnerships that the company, the GSI, is planning with different organizations. Those are benefits to the community. And then these taxing bodies also benefit the community. Road districts, fire districts, ambulance districts. Those are all things that serve everyone in the community, so everyone benefits. In addition to the opportunity to be subscribers and have savings. And there's all those economic benefits that flow from what's really a pretty small area, a pretty small project. And you can see that right now what's being proposed in those renderings, they're really going above and beyond with the screening, completely wrapping the project in screening, shrinking the project down from what was previously proposed. The nearest distance from one of the residences to the project is it's like 550 feet, it's over a football field away, and on top of it. So, they're doing everything they can to try to reduce the view shed issues that are out there. They're moving things around like the driveway. They're trying to work with the neighbors to understand and accommodate those things. But there's other things you have to balance too. You have to balance the landowner's rights. The landowner has worked to gain this land, and the project isn't actively harming its neighbors, which there's no evidence that there is. Then these are the types of projects that I think you should consider letting landowners utilize. But the other thing that I want you to throw into that mix, the balance for consideration, is control. And when I talk about control, what I'm getting at is who's going to have the opportunity to control the process for this project, how it's built, and then how it's operated for years to come. And you may be aware there's legislation that was passed by the state of Illinois that gives authority to the counties to do some of this. You may not know is that there's legislation that's currently being considered in the upcoming veto session next week, which is going to enhance some of those provisions. Maybe that legislation doesn't go through, maybe it does. You can talk to different people, get different answers on that. But clearly the trend from the state of Illinois is that the legislation is trying to work to support generation of electricity to try to bring down the costs of electricity, because everybody knows their costs have been going up. There's a huge demand right now, data centers, all of the electronics that all of us use in the government, at home, is driving up the demand for electricity and the supply that's keeping up. And we can talk about some of the reasons for why that is, that's for another day. But the fact is that the legislature is trying to help increase generation of a certain type, and this falls into that category. So there's that legislation, and then there's also the potential for some litigation in Coles County and other counties, which has to do with this little bit of tension between where the city's control stops and where the county's control starts. And neither one of those things is a certainty on how it's going to come out of this. But there's legislation that could increase the control of the county, and there's litigation that could decrease the control of the municipalities. And you may have, if you're following any of this, you may have seen recently in Coles County, there was a project that was denied, solar project, and then it came back under reconsideration and that was approved. And I wasn't at that meeting, so I wasn't privy to those conversations, but my understanding from asking people who were involved is that there was a lot of consideration that was taken by the county board members as to if there was going to be litigation, were they going to prevail? And if they weren't going to prevail in that litigation, then it didn't make a lot of financial sense for the taxpayers to get engaged in expensive litigation only to lose. And so they ended up voting that project through. So there's legislation and litigation out there that are going to affect control over these properties and these types of projects. And I would ask you to consider taking the opportunity to control your own path. If this project as being proposed were to go forward and you were to grant a special use, you would have control over that process. You would be able to have control over the ground. The proposal is that the ground would be annexed into the city. So now you have control of that ground in perpetuity. You would also have control over the process. When you grant a special use permit, you can put special conditions on it. There's, you can put the conditions in that are specific about the vegetative screening. You can put conditions in such as on what days, construction can occur. So you can say, look, you can't do construction on Sundays. We're not going to do that to the community. Saturdays, you only can do a half day, or whatever you decide. But you can decide those things, and you can put in place special conditions on the process as it goes along. And then during the operation, you can be in control and have oversight over that project. So I didn't get to see what was on the iPad, but based on the content of the conversation and what was being said, I gather that it was showing that there was a solar project that wasn't being well maintained, and that didn't look good. It was maybe messy or had weeds. Who has control over that property? Is it the county or is it the municipality? And if it's a municipality, they should be doing a better job. If it's a county, they should be doing a better job as well. But ask yourselves, do you want a project that's just outside the boundary of your city that you don't have control over? Because if the legislation breaks a certain way, or if the litigation breaks a certain way, and you don't have control over a project that's going to be on this parcel, now you're left to the mercy of whoever else is controlling it. And in this situation, and this is not a knock against Coles County, but Coles County doesn't have comprehensive zoning. So they don't have a dedicated zoning office. They don't have dedicated code enforcement officers and people who go out and do inspections. They're not used to going out and doing code enforcement and trying to effectuate and enforce their rules because they just haven't had a need to do that. So they don't have that in place. You do. You have a great zoning department. You've got a city manager who's very involved. You got a zoning officer. You've got inspections officers. You can be in control and dictate how this project is going to be built and how it's going to be operated throughout the years. And if something doesn't look good out there, file an ordinance violation, go follow through with nuisance procedures. And I know some people say, well, yeah, but that becomes a big hassle and it's a lot of trouble. For regular homeowners, maybe that's the case. But when you get into a special use permit, you're giving a special permit to that project and you can revoke that permit. So if there's a company that all of a sudden, GSI isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and you say, look, here's your warning, get this cleaned up, get this fixed, or else you're going to lose your permit. If they don't get it done, you yank their permit. If you yank their permit, the project gets decommissioned and gets removed. Now, they're going to have a huge investment of capital into this project. Do you think that they're going to want to risk all of that capital because they didn't maintain some weeds? Or do you think they're going to go out and they're going to hire some little company to stay on top of it? But again, you get to decide whether you have control over that or whether you're going to leave that to the control of somebody else. And I'm guessing that your constituents, while they may not want to look at the project, they may not like the looks of it. Number one, they may not have seen some of these renderings and they may not have known about some of the options for the screening. So maybe that's something further to consider. They may not have understood the exact distances from where they're at to where it's going to be, but they may not have also understood that there's a control issue here that you have the opportunity to grab hold of and control your own path as it relates to that. So I would ask you just to throw that into the mix of considerations that you have to balance as you're making these decisions. And I know these are tough decisions. You do have a lot to balance and consider. But keep that in mind as you're going through it, because if you don't control it, there's a potential that somebody else will control it. They may not do it in the way that you want. So we would ask you to keep that in mind. We would ask you to consider these benefits that come along to the community. And we would ask you to strongly consider approving this project. But if you think that you've heard some information tonight, and if you think that you've seen some things tonight that cause you to have more questions, or we give you pause to say, I want to find out more about this. I want to explore what we can do. What's this control issue look like? What's that all about? You have the opportunity to, maybe move this down the road another meeting. I know there's been complaints about, we want to get it done, we want to get it done. The company wants to get it done too. Everybody does. But I know you want to get it done right. So if you think you need more time to do that, take the time to do it. But please make a strong, informed decision, balancing all of those factors and taking those things into consideration.
Seth, can I ask one final question? That property tax breakdown, is that over 35 years or is that 1 year? That 583,000? If I'm reading it right,
So
that's over, so 583,000 over 35 years.
That's right.
Okay, so if you take 583K, divide that by 35, that's $15,000 a year. Just want to make sure I clarified that.
But to that end, I would also, when you're making your considerations and it relates to these benefits, consider this. When you have other types of developments, let's just say a residential development, and we all want to encourage residential development, no doubt about it. Cities, your city's got a lot going on, and I know that you want to have residential development, and I highly encourage that, right? One of the things to keep in mind when you're doing a few comparisons is when you're going to have a residential development, you're also going to have some burdens that fall on the city, right? So if you have a residential development on the same type of property, you're going to have to put it in the streets. Even if there's a deal with the developer, you're still going to end up maintaining the streets and sewers and lights and plowing the snow and picking up the garbage and doing all those things. So there's some burdens that come on, require you to hire an extra person, buy another truck, something like that. And when you have an additional residential development and kids going into the school district, it's great for schools. We all want to have more kids matriculated to the schools. But anytime that you add kids into the district, now they're more wear and tear on the buildings, you need more classroom space, you need more computers, you might need more teachers' aides, you might need more teachers. There's additional costs that come along with that. When you have a project like this, the number one is it's a temporary project. It's a long temporary, I don't deny that. But ultimately, this project comes to an end. There's an end in its life and then it gets removed. So it's temporary, preserving the land during that time. But during that time period, you're going to get all of those benefits without any additional burdens. You don't have to go out and plow the snow out there. You don't have to go out and maintain the sewers or the lights or anything like that. You don't have to have additional kids in the school district. You can have this money, these benefits for the school district, even if it's only 15 grand a year. It's 50 grand a year laid on the desk of the superintendent, but he doesn't have any additional expenses. He can just use it to improve the lives of the students that are already there. So there's all the benefits without those burdens for the temporary use, and then you gain the control of this property, annex it in, you have control, and once this temporary use is removed, you get to do with it what you think the plan calls for at that time. So again, I know we went a little long here, and I apologize for that, but I do appreciate your time, I appreciate your consideration. I know you've got a lot to weigh and consider, so I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Let's see, do we have questions among ourselves?
Might have been answered.
What's that now?
It's in the very back row.
Mr. Schaefer, can I ask you a question? Have you been able to farm the area that they're wanting to put the solar panels in?
I farmed it for years and years. It's just not good.
Okay.
It sits next to the cemetery. I get all the water from the cemetery. And we usually have to plant it last because it's small. You know, it's just not a good piece. That's the only reason I signed it up originally years ago. Because really it's farming. It's not.
There wasn't any other plot that might have suited your purposes and was maybe also not as profitable that you might have chosen, other than right in your house.
You wouldn't want it next to your house, would you?
Okay. Good, good.
Okay.
If I may add to it, it's a lot to have to do with the proximity to the substation.
It's you'd have to build a substation or tie into another one.
Right.
Right.
Oh.
They're all.
They're built in.
I don't have the names, I don't.
Okay, excuse me, please. If everybody talks at once, number one, we're not sure who's talking. We don't want to get into this anyway, I can tell you. We got to maintain control. If people want to make a comment, we'll let you stand or come up front and make a comment. But I don't know. Did you get your question answered?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go back to this group. This is the group that's going to vote. And just determine when we're going to vote. My personal feeling, I think everybody in the room would like to get this resolved as soon as they can, but we also want to make an informed decision. And I don't know how everybody feels about it right now, whether you want to vote right now or not. Maybe that's the first question that we address. Do you think that you have the knowledge necessary to make the decision that you need to make? And if you don't, we need to make a commitment as to when we do vote on this so that we don't have to keep going down the path of what we've been doing lately. So are you comfortable with having the knowledge that you need to have to make the vote tonight?
Do you want to poll the council and ask us?
Yeah, no, I'd like to find out.
I'll go first. I have absolutely all the information I need.
Okay, fine. That's what I need.
I'm perfectly fine making
You're
a
with it,
decision
okay.
tonight.
All right. So you okay?
I have a lot of questions, but
Okay.
I can certainly make a decision tonight.
Okay.
So,
Same.
so I can either ask questions now or make the motion and then.
Do you have a lot of questions you need to, and who would they go to?
I have three. We talked about annexing. Is it in the actual agreement that we're gonna actually annex this property if it gets approved?
Sorry, so yes, there is a part of that in terms of the annexation. We had an opportunity to have some discussions today about how maybe we could amend that annexation to increase the amount that's being annexed. If there's more time to discuss that and address that, that could come up. So yes, but it does call for annexation.
To meet simultaneous.
It's a pre-annexation agreement that's
A condition.
contingent on
Yeah.
this.
Yes. And then,
So the answer is yes. The answer to that is yes, we would annex this.
Yes.
If we go for it.
I think you said no. When somebody asked a question about would these union benefits, would these jobs still come if you moved it 1,000 feet north or a mile north? And you said no.
Oh, I don't think they specified the benefits, the union benefits.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought they were, because some of the tax benefits do not come to the community.
Sure.
If it were moved out of the area or if it falls under the control of the county.
Right.
So if the county zones it, or if it goes outside the 1.5, and it's not annexed in, then you would lose out on some of those benefits. That's what I was thinking.
And then it's my understanding, excuse my ignorance, but there was a previous permit on this same property?
Yes.
How many permits has this property had?
I don't remember.
And not been built?
So it's a total of 3 from my understanding. Again, probably don't quote me on that, it's been 3 years. And so the first one was before my time.
Right.
And so that one was approved. There were no main objectors at that meeting. And then from there, they had 2 years to implement that project. And then when it got close to the end of the 2 years, that was the meeting in 2024, which I was involved in. And so they applied for an extension. The community came out, very similar to tonight. Planning and Zoning Commission, which voted down. And so they went back. The name of the project changed from there. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I want to be accurate. And then from there, some things were made to the project, which I do feel were made in good faith, not going back and forth, things like that. And then it was also brought back to the Planning and Zoning Commission after that for a rezoning and special use. And that request was denied by the player, not recommended to council by the Planning and Zoning Commission. It is the right of the applicant to move forward, despite that negative recommendation, which led to the next meeting.
So then, the last question then is, so is GSI involved with the very first permit years ago? And if that, so is that, what happened to that company?
But that's still the same company. It was under a different name, Saturn Power at that time, but we acquired Saturn Power. It's all the same.
I got you. Okay.
From Saturn as well. So
Okay. And then did you all reach out to the community? Did you meet with these people during your redesign phase?
No, we had open houses the end of March and the end of April.
And
One was at the public library and one was lit.
And were they well attended?
Well, yeah.
We sent over 140 letters out to residents inviting those, and we did have folks who came and gave us the feedback, which helped us to help inform us on the design changes that we made for the screening roads.
Any other questions you have, Commissioner?
No, I'm pretty good, I think, right now.
Commissioner Cox, you okay?
Planning and zoning did not recommend that. They voted no on this particular.
Yes, from the staff perspective, just given some of the new developments as well, staff recommendation here would be a negative approval. So we're not in favor of approval as the project sits. However, I do feel that some of those comments that was made regarding control warrants a conversation. Because if the state is going to step in and preempt this entire process, we may want to have some of that control and handle what we can. I've seen many of the solar farms in Charleston, they're all in the county, and there's no vegetative screening, there's nothing, they look terrible. And again, personally, I am a fan of solar. Professionally, it needs to be done in the right place. I don't think this is the right place for this. I think Earthrise was a wonderful example where you can balance the needs of, trying to invest in renewables while also not impacting immediate residences. That's it. Again, the state is preempting us on this. That's something we need to think about. We still have a negative recommendation here. We're not in favor. But it is something that legal counsel should be thinking about.
I will agree with that. I mean, right now I am a no. But
You're no on the, we haven't made any motions or anything yet. We were just going to.
Just in.
Whether we're going to go forward.
Just in general, right now, I am a no, but part of our responsibility as council members is the long-term impact of these decisions that they will make. And I think it's prudent of us to maybe take a little more time and see, and I'd be interested in your thoughts on the legislation part, if you have any thoughts.
I'm not aware of the legislation. I don't have any.
It's House Bill 4116.
I'm certainly willing to get to that.
395 specifically states, and we had a conversation about this earlier today. Tension. Basically, and actually, I might let you just kind of explain your viewpoint there. Yeah, and I don't want to get too into the weeds, and Mr. Jones is your counsel, so you should inquire. It comes down to statutory interpretation, how you put the construction of the statute. So as the statute currently reads, it states that municipalities were granted their zoning jurisdiction and 1.5 miles to restrict wind. In the same paragraph, in the same sentence, it says that the municipalities, it doesn't give them that same 1.5 miles as it relates to solar. So typically when you have two parts of a paragraph that in one sentence, the legislature is saying municipality, we're granting it as 1.5 miles for wind, but they don't say that for solar. The interpretation is that that was intentional and that you don't have that control for solar. They're going back, and I believe the intent is they're trying to clean that up and make that even more clear, because they're stating now that municipalities get their zoning authority, their zoning district plus 1.5 miles for wind. And then it follows another sentence and it says municipalities get their zoning district for solar, but it doesn't say 1.5. So again, they're leaving out the 1.5 in terms of the area of control for solar for municipalities. Now, there's still going to be legal, and I wish the legislature would make a lot of things more clear. They don't. But I think that that's going to be the interpretation. I also know that there was a project that was near Charleston that was within the 1.5 miles that was denied. And that I think there's a high likelihood that that company is going to be pursuing an action against Coles County, to force the county to follow the state siting law and then zone the project. Again, I'm not saying that I have the crystal ball and I know how these things are going to come out. But what I'm saying is you've got a couple of balls that are juggling in the air over here that if they land a certain way, you lose your control. Whereas in this scenario, if an agreement is reached through annexation or the pre-annexation agreement, and you set terms as to how you're going to control this project, and it may not be perfect, but sometimes, you know, the saying goes, don't let the pursuit of perfection get in the way of good. So it may not be perfect, but it might be good or better for you to be in control of it and be certain of that, rather than leaving it to those things that are juggling in the air. And those things juggling in the air could break your way and it could still work out. And I'm not going to say that I know which way it's going to go, but there's ways to eliminate that risk and control your own path.
Okay. Next, next, we make the motion or we don't, excuse me?
We need a motion.
Yeah, right. Commissioner Phipps?
I'll make the motion to adopt special ordinance 2025-1984, granting a rezoning and special use between Evergreen Court and North 33rd Street to allow for construction of a solar farm. Petitioner Hayes Solar LLC, care of GSI Development Corp., north of Dodge Grove Cemetery, Evergreen Court, Ralph Mima, senior project developer.
And can I have a second to that motion? Anybody going to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got a second. And any other final questions from the council?
I just appreciate everybody's input tonight, regardless of how this goes, but we hear you, we hear both sides, and we appreciate all of you attending and giving your feedback.
Okay. David, you look like you had a question.
It's not a question, it's just a thought, a statement. I've said this 100 times over my time on council, and the day-to-day impact that we have is minimal. The decisions we make long-term are substantial. And I think the control issue warrants a little more time, a little more study. But if we're going to vote on it, then we're going to vote on it, and time will tell how that plays out.
Okay, Mayor, I do have a question. If this gets voted down,
right,
how much time would the petitioners have to revisit, rework the plan and come back again?
I'm not aware of any deadline, Alex, or any.
No, there's nothing in our ordinance that
Right.
specifies times between applications, but
Okay. So we could vote this down now. I'm just making this clear. If we voted this down now, they can come in next month and resubmit.
Refile. Yep.
Go ahead.
at least unless I have an opportunity, so.
I'm willing.
I'd love to hear from you.
Your choice.
Yeah. What way, you just relevant?
I was just going to say, as Mr. Benedict described it, it's my understanding that could come back, reapply, but that triggers the entire process starting back over.
Right.
And going through all the notice provisions, going through all the additional hearings that would have to be held. And I understand that would be more frustrating. The other thing that I was going to say is to Mr. Cox, I was sensing that there's always the opportunity to amend the motion to table it if that's what you're seeking, but I also understand the whole wants less that to proceed. So that is all.
Yes, that's fine. Okay.
Is there interest in tabling it? Okay.
Anybody want to table it? I don't hear that.
that was my thought, but I don't think I've,
My only
I think I'm
concern
on-
is that it could be tabled for how long?
Table
Yeah.
brings back at the
You
next
got,
meeting.
you got to address it at the next meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't make the motion.
Is that statutory? The next meeting, or can we set the tabling at a certain date?
It's statutory.
What
I-
information are we gonna have in
Yeah.
2 weeks? Will we have more information, do we think, in 2 weeks?
If the veto session votes on it, possibly.
I would make the motion, we table it, study it further, and some of the issues of control, that have been brought up here tonight. I think it's a complicated issue. If anybody thinks this is going away in the state of Illinois, we're kidding ourselves. I'm not a fan of it either, but I think we really need to get it right for the long term.
Yeah. If we table it, everybody understands we have to make a decision at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
When's the veto
So
session?
when is the vote to be taken?
Next week, is it 27, 28, 29?
Yeah.
Then next week. October 27, 28, 29, approximately.
So,
So we have to vote November 4th. If we take
Right, right. And the deal with our legislators will know by that date. Okay, so we've got a recommendation that we,
motion to table.
There's a motion.
motion to table. So do we need a second on that?
I'll second it.
Okay, got a second? Then we do, any comments?
Roll call.
Roll call
Roll call.
to table it.
To table.
The table.
Clear as mud.
Do it.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
No.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
So it's tabled until the next meeting.
Okay, with that said, everybody, I said before that we're trying to get this thing done and get it resolved, but there are some things that we would like to take a look at. And we will have to make a final decision at our next meeting, which is the first Tuesday of next month. I don't know what else we might learn, but it's, we've got to look at the big picture. I do think that there are people that are still learning about what's going on. And I know you've been here a couple of times and spoken. I think we understand what you're saying. You can always come back. There's no question like that. And it looks like we would get it resolved next time. But so we've agreed to table it at this point. And ready to move on next item?
Yep.
All right, next item.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1985, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and TCVS Incorporated, DBA Midwest Mattress Company, reimbursing up to $14,392.80 from Midtown TIF revenues over a one-year period for facade signage improvements to the building located at 1601 Broadway Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement.
Second to that motion?
Second.
Commissioner Cox, any comments?
I could make a quick comment on both of these just for the interest of time. Both of these speakers have resolutions here were unanimously approved by the committee. First one is for a new sign, very minimal cost, for the downtown that helps people like my business. Second one is roof repair, which is absolutely essential if we're going to be preserving traffic down. And the property also has a number of potential unique uses that council will probably hear about in the future outside of its current use. So we're pretty excited to do those 12 part of stabilization.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call on 11. This item.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Commissioner Butler.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes.
Motion to adopt special ordinance number 2025-1986, authorizing the mayor to sign an outright grant agreement by and between the city of Mattoon and MBT Northern Illinois LLC Commercial Refrigeration, reimbursing up to $80,000 from Midtown TIF revenues over a one-year period for structural roof repair to the building located at 2020 Prairie Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement.
And a second to that motion?
Second.
I'm going to go Commissioner Cox, that was you?
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps, okay? You were overruled, sorry, Erica. It's a tie. Okay, so we got a second. Any comments? All right, roll call.
Commissioner Butler,
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps.
Yes.
Mayor Hall.
Yes. And last item on the agenda is comments by council members. We're going to start with Erica. Any comments?
I just want to thank everybody for coming out. We really do hear you. We appreciate all of your thoughts and sharing your thoughts with us, and we are taking them to heart. We really do want to make the best decision for the city. So thank you again for coming out.
And next will be Commissioner Clausen.
Just want to, with Commissioner Butler, thank everybody. And I think the dialogue was very constructive. And yes, these are tough choices, but we do appreciate both sides and the information that was provided.
And Commissioner Cox.
I would agree. Thank you all for being here. Do appreciate your time, your passion, your commitment, and your comments you made tonight. I do take them to heart. It's tough decisions. My personal feeling is I just want to make sure that we get this right for the long term, and make sure that we're just checking all the details. But I do understand your perspective on things, and promise we'll do due diligence, and the wheels of municipal government do run slow sometimes, don't they?
Yes.
But this will come to a wrap here soon. So thank you all for being here.
Commissioner Phipps.
I don't have anything else to add, just to reiterate these folks. So thank you very much.
Only thing I'd say, I appreciate the way you treated each other. You know, you're respectful, both parties. I think that doesn't always happen, you know. We've seen a lot of situations at all levels that we haven't conducted ourselves nearly as well as you did. You should be proud of that. And with that said, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn. Yes, sir.
Can I get my petitions back?
We'd like to get a copy of them. We can do that tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get a copy tonight,
Okay.
right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so motion to adjourn.
With that, Mayor, I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, and second? Somebody second it?
Second it.
Okay, we got a second? And roll call.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Cox,
Yes.
Commissioner Phipps,
Yes.
Commissioner Butler,
No.
Mayor Hall.
Yes, meeting adjourned. thanks for everything.
Almost 2 hours. At the end.